pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, the approval of minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bushinsky, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to approve the minutes. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Next, the approval of claims.
Make a motion, we approve the claims.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bushinsky, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to approve the claims. Is there any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 4-0. Utilities, you've all received a report pertaining to the status of that. The lift station, the new lift station at the correctional facility, they set the barrel, stacked the barrels on it the other day, so it was like a 8 to 10 month lead time on the lift station to get the lift station built. I don't know how far they've ordered it already, how far they are. They've started to run the lines by directional boring. So far the weather has been pretty good. That's about all I have on that. They're looking for the flow meter installed at the Nash Finch lift station, and they think they can be able to put it at the force main going into the lift station, which will save several $1,000s on that. And that's about it on utilities. Don't think we've had any breaks since the last meeting, knock on wood. Any questions on utilities or anything? Okay. Streets?
Nothing to report. Saving
Park.
our salt.
Huh?
Saving our
Yeah.
salt.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 63 tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
Parks, if anybody is not driven by the park, go by at dark. The ladies on Fire Auxiliary put up the decorations and lit them around Thanksgiving, and they look pretty nice. The clerk's office purchased a decoration for an additional decoration for there. They let Nicole know about it, and it's supposed to be in the next day or so. So they'll have an additional one out there.
I'm sure the ladies thank you.
It's a elf that points naughty and nice, so drive by slow, you can see both of them, I guess. But it looks nice out there.
Stay away from it.
Police?
November, we had 408 calls for service. We are going to be continuing on with our classes next door with Shadow House and Bruce. The team has done very well. They're really taking a shine to it, and I'm seeing a lot of progress with them. Very happy with that. I did want to ask where we are with the appropriation for the American Relief Funds. The quote I provided to you guys, as well as Mrs. Mercer, for the body cameras specifically, if I don't sign on the dotted line by December 30th, because they won't be in service on the 31st, that quote will be inaccurate because there will be a price adjustment. They said that we can sign off before we actually pay for them, obviously. But like I said, after that 30th date, they will go up. So then at that time, that's when we'll have to readjust. But if you guys are...
I think we need to look at that. I want to double check, because I know we had trouble with the ones you have with Motorola took over.
Correct.
They had some concerns, but I think their website's up, because I saw Walkerton has them now.
Has those?
I went through Walkerton, and they have the Motorola now.
The WatchGuard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we might want to check on those, because I know we have the server set up to do that. Because my concern is if we use the art money for that, when the art money isn't in the budget anymore, then it's gonna, when it's not available anymore to pay those funds, or I know we got grant from Unity.
Yes, we got it.
When that runs out, then it's coming out of our
You mean the
coffers.
service? Yeah.
Yes. So even if we have to call it a special meeting, I'd like to check into that.
And we're already paying the service to Motorola, is that it?
No, we're not paying anything right now. We
Okay.
bought those outright.
Okay.
I was not very happy with Motorola's customer service. They are difficult to reach. After talking to many in the industry, Axon right now is probably the best bang for our buck, as I previously discussed.
Right.
The quote I gave pays for everything all in full. It is all cloud-based, so we don't have to pay anything there. So we pay that 27 and some change. They're ours forever. So it's a 5-year contract with their service. At 2.5 years, we get the new and upgraded ones, but then after that, we can still maintain them and have everything. It's just that's a question for after that 5-year. And you are starting to see a lot of those being on a service charge rather than a buy it now. That's where the industry is going.
I have a question. As far as the money goes, how are they what's the sustainability on them? After
Excellent.
5 years, who owns the storage?
We do. We are.
We own it, we manage it and everything.
Yes.
So it's not going to a cloud, Axon is operating.
Well, no, it is cloud-based, but we always have access to it and we pay a service fee at that point. But we don't have to buy new cameras now.
No, I'm not asking that. What happens in 5 years when we can get that, we can get everything that's stored on it? It's not gonna cost us to get it.
No, and we always have access to it. If
It's
we
not
choose,
gonna cost us to get it.
correct,
Okay.
correct. It's ours to keep. We always have access to it. Now, we might not be able to record new at that point. That is a question we'll have to ask at that time.
What does that mean?
Essentially, it means that if we want to renew our service fee with them,
Mhm.
we'll have to discuss and go through what the charges are at that time.
But what's on the cloud is already
There,
ours.
it's all, and we always have access to it. That's even with us going to RMS Caliber. Even if we choose to no longer purchase that, we always will have access to it because there are files.
Because that'll have to be out of an appropriation from next year anyway,
What?
for anything with the art money. There'll have to be an appropriation in 2022. We don't have time to appropriate an additional
Yeah,
appropriation.
right, I already anticipated that.
'Cause if we
I
do-
was just looking, I'm trying to, I have to do these projections, and I
Right, I
want to be
understand.
sure
I understand.
we
How
are
much
going
does
to.
it cost after the 5 years?
Yeah,
We
No,
won't,
because it changes it goes
yeah,
up.
we won't,
They adjust
I
the
know we
cost.
won't know.
okay.
No, there's no way of knowing because we
Uh-huh.
don't know what the trends are gonna be. We don't know
No.
we can't anticipate.
You just have to
I can
appreciate it.
say right now, it's
Yeah.
gonna be, what it is now, but like I said, if we
Right.
don't sign off and move forward with this, then we're gonna be with, in my opinion, a subpar product with the Motorola WatchGuard because they sustain us for a time, but when those cameras go down after only owning them for 2 years, that's a problem.
Mhm.
When Axon is tried and true, it is something that many people are using and have been using for years, that it's a good product.
When you had Motorola, did you have a whole lot of problems before you left? But they were new, weren't they?
We had them a couple, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
We got them in November of 18.
Yeah,
So 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah, my concern really, I just looking at the money part of
I
it.
understand.
We have a server specifically set up for those
Right,
that we always have access to.
right.
So that's where my concern is longevity of this being an added expense when we already have it.
The package for that quote I gave, yeah, I understand. The package that it comes with, that is for everything. And then we'll adjust at the 5-year mark. And I've got no problem trying to write more grants and get the funding for that in 5 years. I've got absolutely no problem with that.
Yeah, 'cause that may be what has to happen,
And-
if that's
and
the case,
with-
depending on the cost.
And with if we're looking at the bigger picture of what's going on in America, there's gonna be some funding for mandate that, well, right now it's kind of an unfunded mandate, but there will be money, and there is money out there for body cameras to grants.
Well, I think you're gonna see more for the cloud storage
Yes.
than you are the service.
Most of your bigger companies are doing that.
That's
The
right.
two big ones that are being used in Indiana right now are Axon, and then Body Worn is a big one that's coming about.
Well, everybody's pushing for the cloud.
Right, because
So-
you don't
I
have
understand
to.
that, but
So we're
I
pre-
also,
we're-
some
we're
places have bigger
prepaying for
budgets
5
than
years.
us. So
And-
that's my biggest concern.
Right.
Is that.
So we're prepaying for everything for the service.
Correct.
Okay, what's your,
Well, I would like for us to try it. I mean, at least you can sign for it now. We don't have to pay for it till the money comes in.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and they were, I've been speaking with their rep for the last 6 months, and he said he would be okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm really into the cloud. I really like that, the cloud service.
And if we have to readjust with our current system with Brainstorm, I can talk to Mark,
Sure,
and we can adjust that money that we won't be
I don't have
adding
a
so
problem
much
with
to our
you
service.
want to make a motion?
yeah. And what's the name of it again? Axon?
Axon.
Okay, okay, I make a motion that we sign the contract with Axon for the cameras, body cam.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm writing it. Is second?
Second. I didn't hear the motion.
Oh, okay. Motion made by Mrs. Riddell, seconded by Mr. Bushinsky to enter into a contract with Axon before the end of the year.
They just said I need to have his signature by the 30th.
Okay. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell,
Yes.
did you get in on all
I
that?
missed it, so just,
You're abstaining?
I'm
Thorsky
abstaining, yes,
abstaining.
yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes. Okay. Anything else on police?
Deputy Cashman's doing extremely well. I'm very happy with the progress he's made in a short time. He's had a vast array of calls that will be released here very shortly. And that is all I have.
And we do have the 24-hour coverage at this point in time.
Once he is released, we will, yes. Yep, once he's released, then we will.
Okay,
Yep.
good deal.
Okay. Nothing else on police? Finance. We have, I know you're fine. I want to go ahead and do these. I'm sorry, you're. We have a consulting contract from John Schaefer. He prepares a lot of our additional appropriations in the budget. It's his contract for services for the year. Price stayed the same, Lori, which is,
$1.40 an hour.
here's the hourly rate, $140 per hour, and I don't think we spend over $900 or $8,000. Yeah, very, very minimum. So I'll make a motion that we enter again with a contract with John Schaefer, CPA.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to enter into the contract with John Schaefer. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, 5-0. We have an attorney contract from some guy named Doug Beege. Would you like to, I'm assuming you reviewed it?
Yeah, it is artfully drafted, I might add.
I'll probably use it in law school stuff.
My base rate was 28.5, I asked for a raise to 29, mostly because I've got to give raises. So my bookkeeper's daughter is working in McDonald's for $15.80 an hour.
Good for her.
Yeah, well, I gotta give my staff raises.
So they can afford McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we enter into the contract with Doug for 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mr. Bushinsky?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. Anything else on finance? Miscellaneous. David?
Okay, November, we had a total of 50 calls, 16 in town, 23 in New Durham, 11 in Jackson, no mutual aid. And it gets broken down to 32 medical incidents, 2 accidents with injuries, 2 accidents without injuries, 7 dispatch and disregarded. 1 fire alarm, or I'm sorry, 1 false alarm, 1 vehicle fire, 2 brush fires, and 3 miscellaneous. And what's going on this year, we had our yearly elections in November. The business officers, Brandon Kumo, state president, vice president is Wes Colder, secretary is Steve Williams, treasurer is Courtney Myers, members at large is John Delaney and myself. Jason was reelected as chief, and he has until January 1st, to name his line officers, his assistant chief, captain, lieutenant. That's where we're at.
Okay. Report on the truck? No, I mean, do you have a report? Any update or anything? Probably like everything else, it's out.
Further, it'll be January before we get it. The chassis done. We'll go up to Charlotte, Michigan, test drive it, inspect it, then they'll transport it down to Alexis in Alexis, Illinois, and they will do their body and pump and all that stuff. It should be middle of June is what they're.
They having good luck getting parts and materials on that?
Yeah,
or-
they haven't had any problems.
There might be somebody at difference we have.
Yeah.
It's all over. I mean things you wouldn't even think of.
Can't even get cream cheese now.
That's it.
Now they bought 2 times.
And then now that, yeah.
Myers said that I got it today.
Thank you, gentlemen.
But we got 1 truck up being repaired now. We've been having all kinds of problems with this DEF system for the diesels. And we got 1 truck up and it's finished today. Now I gotta take another truck up there tomorrow. We got a transmission problem,
Yeah, but
so.
I know anybody that has a lot of people that even have the pickups are having trouble with that stuff.
Yeah.
The next light duty one just needs to be gasoline.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Ambulances are starting to look that way too.
What happened with the truck? Did you have a frame problem with one or something?
Yeah, we have frame problems with the old Peterbilt tanker, the 99 Peterbilt. It's a double C channel and the bottom just rusted all the way off. So we had to get rid of that. We got scrap value for it. And the old Boardman engine, the cradles that hold the water tank are rusted and gone. So we're trying to maybe that along so the new one comes in, and then we're looking at maybe fixing the back.
What's your trade-in? With prices for new stuff, what's your trade-in?
5,000.
Oh, really?
Is that high or low? I mean, relatively, trade-ins and stuff like that is low,
Scrap
but.
value is 2,500 when you take it down to the falls.
Yeah.
Trade-in is 5,000, that's all you get.
I know.
Fire trucks are used up, they're
Yeah.
used up, they can't,
It's like a police car or something that idles, state highway truck that idles all the time, and, yeah, they're rough miles. So, okay, thank you, gentlemen. Miscellaneous, any other miscellaneous? Citizens' comments? Yes, sir.
I had 2 questions, they're both pretty easy and straightforward. The election cycle starts January 5th. One of the questions I have to ask, I went down to the voters registration to find some information out about which ward I lived in. I ran into this before, I think I've talked to you about it before. I'm like right on the border between 2 voting wards. I just need you to tell me which one I live in.
There should be a legal description of it, because I know when that,
They went through that 21-page document, I gave that to them, they went through it and said the best thing to do is to come here and have you guys decide.
we can take a look at it, see me afterwards, because
Okay.
what we had to do, we had a map. You have to be within a certain percentage of all your in your wards for population. It had, I think it was within 10%. So you've got, New Durham is really difficult because we got a map that had numbers of how many lived in this stretch, and they literally had to go down and count. They knew how many people they had, and they literally had to go count to keep it within that. So it's, yeah.
Yeah, the lady down there, she went through whatever she had on file. It might not have been the most updated one, I don't know. It's what they had. And she sent me 2 maps, colored them, and she said, I still can't answer your question for you.
What is your actual address?
812 Carland Drive.
Pardon?
812 Carland Drive.
Oh.
I'm right at the end of the cul-de-sac, I think is where I think the issue is, because it's like right there.
Okay, we take a look. And what was your second?
If you file, I'm trying to understand this correctly, because I'm looking at the forms right now. If you file in a major party, does Westville caucus, or are they going to have an actual primary election?
Normally they have caucused. I don't know if they changed the requirements due to population, because that
Yeah.
affects a lot of if you caucus, so that would probably be a county question.
Okay. Because it was, it's like 3,500 people from what I read.
Yeah,
It should be.
they could be, because I know it's changed because we've had caucuses in the past.
Okay. I was gonna say.
So I can't, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, that would probably be a legal question. Because
Okay.
we wouldn't, if it was a primary, we wouldn't determine if law required the primary,
It's,
you know,
honestly, all it is a different form you have to fill out.
yeah. Yeah, in the past, it's
There's
never
like
been
3
done.
different forms you could fill out to run for town
Right.
council.
Right.
3 different ones. It's like, come on, this should be easier than this.
That'll be in 23.
What's up?
That we run in 23.
Yeah, 23.
Okay, that's what I'm trying, well, okay, yeah, I'm looking at the wrong date, but I'm looking at this
Yeah.
correctly.
Although-
January 5th.
Sheriff is next year,
Correct.
Mhm.
and they're already
Yeah,
Mhm.
spending money on signs.
yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Everybody have a nice Christmas, be safe.
Well, we're not done yet.
Oh, and I was gonna say, when's our new citizen gonna be?
6 days,
Okay.
in theory, if it all works out.
It all works out.
Oh.
And you also have to, the planning
Plan
commission.
Commission. Okay, we have an opening on the Plan Commission that was vacated by Tom Fath. So I would like to make a motion that we appoint Deb Kelly to fill that spot.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Riddell to fill the Plan Commission spot vacated
Thank
by Tom Fath with Deb Kelly. Any discussion? Mrs. Riddell?
Yes.
Mrs. Pothorsky?
Yes.
Mr. Bashinsky?
Yes.
No,
Miss-
Yes.
Yes. And Albert votes yes. Okay. You have another?
The vice president.
Oh, yeah, Tom was council vice president. Do you guys want to appoint it tonight? Because we're redoing officers in January.
I nominate Regina.
I'll second before she says anything.
All third.
Motion made by Mr. Bashinsky, seconded by Albert, to appoint Mrs. Riddell as council vice president.
Thanks, guys.
Is there any discussion? The railroads are at work. Mrs. Riddell?
Sure.
Mrs. Pothorsky? Mr. Bashinsky?
Yes.
Sure.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Albert votes yes, passes 5-0. Anything else? Now, everybody have a nice Christmas and holidays. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Albert, seconded by Mr. Bashinsky. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Meeting adjourns at 7:23.
The Christmas tree looks